Hey, all right, we're back for another video.
What was the moment you shared during the filmmaking process that made you two think, wow, this project is going to be popular?
No, it's that what would you say? Yeah, we've made exactly. It's the past. It's months. All that we've been through, and I found my sister. We've become. It's such a family. Yes, exactly.
This one's gonna be about iconic Wicked. Wicked just premiered in the theaters maybe like a month ago, and just all the talk about it. And I saw there was so many discourses online about nobody knew what was going on the Wicked set. Cynthia and Ariana's relationship. There were clips dropping of like Ariana's audition process. And
it's so different vocally from what I usually sing. And I remember by the end of my final test,
like all this stuff. Their press rollout, all the green and the pink everywhere. I'm not gonna lie, it was giving Barbie. Their rollout was giving Barbie. Like, they're lucky the girls didn't pull up in green paint. And that's what some celebrities like and influencers did for like the actual red carpet event. I did see like I think the influencer to like actually do the green face, which is like slay girl, because like I couldn't.
Give him a real good enemy.
you're green.
I am. Actually, I could. That's kind of cunt. But another big thing in the rollout was everybody freaking out about the amount that they were crying during all their interviews. People were concerned. People were like, what's going on the set of this movie? Are y'all doing drugs? Like, tell the girls what's up. And you guys look sickly skinny. It was all the speculation that nobody had any clear-cut answer to. And people were just talking online because no one else had anything else better to do at the time. And here I come in doing the same thing. But I'm coming in from a different lens. There is literally compilations on ends of them being like sad and like saying how much they needed each other during this movie and how much they like learned from each other and they wouldn't have wanted to go through it with anybody else.
Well, got a little bit of her softness, and she's got
her strength.
A little bit of my strength.
Yeah. Not the time, helicopter!
Whoa, stop!
Whoa. Don't do it! Don't do it! Stop, you guys!
You can't leave, you can't.
Sorry, it just happens.
It's really emotional.
We can't help it. We're trying our best. But there's a lot of emotional things that happen, and we're just going with it.
Yeah, you need to understand. It's been like 3 years, people.
Sopping hearts.
There's a lot going on.
We've had to keep this in for such a long time.
And like, Wicked's so fucking iconic. Like, it's been on Broadway for, I think, decades. But Wicked's iconic. Like, Elphaba is iconic. Like, Glinda is iconic. The Good Witch. Like, you want to be popular. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta know. You gotta be there. I should have prefaced with, I was a theater kid. That saying that is like, because that stigma is like, and I think I run so much from it because like musical theater kids scare me. Growing up, I went to a performing arts high school, and like from young, you saw the tropes of like what kind of students people were. Like, the theater kids were like so cool that like everybody wanted to be them because everyone thought that like the next Leonardo DiCaprio was gonna come out of class. Or like the dancers were like pretty stush into themselves, and like they were usually very feminine and like very quiet, like pretty reserved, like. And musical theater is every running trope you see online. It's very like time step, kickball change, like jazz hands. they will break into song everywhere. I feel like everybody, it sounds ignorant. I feel like everyone that does MT, that's what you call it for short. Everyone that did MT had like ridiculously chubby cheeks with like popping dimples. I don't know why. I feel like everybody's face card in MT was like hella round and hella like, and like I'm not mad at that because it works. Like it works for who it works for. Maybe to like hit the vocal ranges because like I know when you sing and like you do voice dialect, you have to have like a E I O U and sometimes Y. Like do me mi fa sol la ti do. That kind of whole thing going on. You want to have the mouth for it too, like and like the variety and versatility and stuff. So yeah, MT kids were all the tropes in the world that they have bad reputations for. I mean, theater kids are no better. There was an episode sidebar. There's an episode of Bob's Burgers, which I do talk about Bob's Burgers in another video. If you want to check that out, I'll have a link below. But there's an episode where, long story short, the whole cast of this like community theater play gets sick, and Linda's like, "Hey, how'd everyone get sick?" And the director goes, "It's the theater. Like everyone's real close in the theater." And that's just always the running trope of like people hook up. It's a very like sexually open space. Like you want to break these barriers because you're trying to like discover new emotions for these, impactful scenes and like really do the work. Like, and I'm mocking it, but like real shit, things happen. Becomes like low key a big orgy. And in all of that, going back to the point of the video, Wicked, I had seen that there were like a couple tropes online that was like, you weren't a theater kid, you don't understand why they're so emotional because it's so hard after being on, a show with people for months on end, having a long rehearsals, learning about each other, getting vulnerable, watching the show get put up, staging, blocking, costumes, trying new things, curtain opening night, and then like the final show, going to like that after show party together and like sitting around and telling your feelings. Like this is a whole post. And I'm not gonna lie, they not wrong. Like you're not gonna get it if you're not a theater kid. Like I had some pretty awesome nights at some pretty cool things. Whether it be just, sitting around all night and like learning about the people you're in class with. When I was in high school, we had to do plays and they were mandatory and they were like the main stage plays and stuff. Even in college, I did some main stage plays and you sit around a lot. I'm talking about it's not your scene on and the director is like, go somewhere. But you might be called. Call time might be 4 to 8. 4 to 8 after school, 4 times a week as a like kid or a young adult, that's a lot of your life. So now you're somewhere in a dressing room, sitting in a staircase, sitting in the lunchroom, something chilling. You just need to be in earshot, whether you're in the black box, if you know, you know. And you just trying to find like just somewhere to be to keep yourself preoccupied before it's time for you to do your scene, like your intentions, objectives, literal happenings, all that stuff, beats and all that, blocking. And you just get to know the people in your cast. You're with them for 4 hours a day for 5 days a week. Maybe sometimes they'll give you Fridays off. But as you get closer to the show, they start asking for weekend rehearsals. Oh my gosh. They start going, hey, Saturday, you guys can pull up at 9 a.m. and you guys will be dismissed at like 3. And you're like, this is my Saturday too. Now it happens, but all I'm saying is you guys become a very close-knit family through that experience. And you learn a lot about people, especially when like life is real short. And God willing, it's not. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you only live through that age once. You only go through that experience once. You could be having a real personal experience at home, and now you're confiding in your scene partner about something that you wouldn't have talked to. You might not have talked to Jessica. Jessica might not have been your girl. She just might have had chem with you and maybe algebra freshman year. But you guys, same school, nothing big. Now you're like going through something at home, and Jessica is your scene partner, and you guys aren't called yet for a scene, And you and Jessica have to get close to create a bond. That way there's comfortability on stage and trust and stuff to really go there with the intent. And now you letting Jessica know what's going on in the crib. And when this is all said and done, Jessica gonna be like, nah, girl, like we went through something together. So that's really why I'm saying that. Like, I think to the commoner, it does look like a lot. I think it does look really traumatizing. I think it looks like what the hell is going on. Art is a lot of people's therapy, and y'all gotta give them grace for that. It's not meant for you to understand, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Ending that off, I've been to, gratefully, my senior year of high school. This girl in my class, she was really really cool. She was like one of the like popular kind of girls, even though my school is fairly small. And she threw our senior year theater party. And I live in New York, so I was fortunate enough to go to school with some very, very privileged kids. And she lived, I'm not lying to you, so you might not be from New York, but we all have heard of Central Park. My school wasn't too far from Central Park, and she lived, we walked, me and my friend in high school, we walked after closing night. She was like, I'm throwing a party, like everybody pull up, just tell them my last name, and like you come up. So we tell him her name, the doorman. Gorgeous place. And he goes, yeah, a penthouse. Of course she lived in a penthouse. This girl's view was gorgeous. We saw all of Central Park. And it's like a high school party. We'll skip through all the like high school stuff in the party. But aside from that, it was a night. It was a night I'll never forget, as far as just having like an unforgettable high school experience with people that you were supposed to be comfortable with, whether you were or were not. It started this quaint group of like just trying new things, being open, and like leaving it out on the table. And all things said and done, whether people talk or not, still it's such a staple memory. And like I appreciate that girl for doing that at that time. And those are the things that people don't take for granted when they go, the show's over, now I have to go find another show. Wicked's done.
Sorry, it just happens.
It's really
It
emotional.
happens. We can't help it. We're trying our best. But there's a lot of emotional things that happen, and we're just going with it.
Yeah, you need to understand. It's
We're
been like
weeping,
3 years, people.
Sopping hearts.
There's a lot
We've had
going
to keep
on.
this in for such a long time.
They're still basking in their moment, y'all, but Wicked's done. Ariana's gonna have to find a new project. People are gonna say, girl, where's the music? People are gonna get back in her drama with her man, which they don't need to. Cynthia, everyone's gonna be like, girl, what's next? What musical we gonna clock in and see you at? You know what I'm saying? Like, so they want to live in this as much as they can. And then like, it's fun to do the press one, but it's also bittersweet because it's like, damn, this really over, y'all. Like all the hard work, all the months of pain, agony, and like just being proud of what we did. So yeah, if you weren't a theater kid, you're not gonna get it. Thanks so much for listening. See you in the next video. Bye.